Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. This is an XL-500. Dan sent me this. This was his second XL-500. I think he did some parts swapping from his other one that I ended up repainting. Oh God, what's that been? 4 or 5 years ago. Go back through the channel, you'll find it. Dan's XL-500 came out real nice. I was pretty happy with that. But anyway, this one, he was just doing some cutting with it, and he said it stopped all of a sudden, and that is tighter than a tick's wazoo right there. I'll clean that up slightly, but not much. And that's where it went. That's where it's at. Let's find out what the heck happened. Those are some interesting custom tension pieces to put over here. I kind of like those. I see that muffler cover's coming apart. It may not, oh yeah. Had the spark arrestor in it, but boy, that cover is just destroyed. Whatever, worry about that later. Depending on what happened to this. Holy shit! That wasn't clean, but wow! Holy hell. Well, this thing's going to be a parts rig. What the hell happened? Let me get the camera off the tripod and get a light. You guys can see this. Well, you know, if I was smart, I'd take that muffler cover off and then you'll be able to see it. Or the muffler body, you'll be able to see it. The whole top of the piston is roached. With a capital R. Can we zoom that in? There we go. See that? I know you do. I can keep this from moving. All that right there. That's the top of the piston with a big chunk out of it and the ring landing pushed all the way back to there. So I don't know why it happened, but that was catastrophic. It even cracked the muffler boss down here. So, yeah. It's a parts rig. I was anticipating we were going to have to, you know, tear it apart, do a little diagnosis. No. So let me get into it a little bit further. And we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think happened. Okay. There's a good close look of it. So that's on the muffler side. That's the exhaust side. You can see that it broke the whole top of the piston out and collapsed the ring under the other ring, and all of this landing, I'm sorry, right here the landing is just out. I have a sneaking suspicion that that's a piece of it. I found that buried way down, wrapped around the crankshaft counterweight. I don't know why it did that. Obviously that's why it failed, but you can see it didn't do it. Whatever happened suddenly, and the reason I say that is you don't have a bunch of scoring in here. It just happened, jam, boom, done. So I don't know if the metal got hot and fatigued. I mean, one little piece of some sort of crap managed to make it over to the intake side. So it probably traveled through one of the cylinder transfer ports. I mean, we've all seen worse ports than that. A little bit of carbon buildup. You can see where there was the catastrophic failure and the jam up right there. There's nothing on this intake side. It's not all roughed up. At the bottom, there's not pock marks like something was in there beating back and forth. It was just boom, I give up, wham, done, bye. I will say that whatever was going on the exhaust side got hot enough to leave some debris. Some of this is sawdust because the carb chamber was a little bit dirty. But there's also the metallic sheen in there, so whatever failed, it did deposit some crap down there. But the rod bearings and the rod journal there, nothing wrong, nothing there. And this wrist pin bearing's not seized. Trying to go straight up and down. Now that could be, oh, I see what that is. The wrist pin's actually moving inside the bearing there. So that may be what happened here. Both wrist pins are. So either those bearings were damaged in the impact, the death of the saw, so to speak, or those wrist pin bearings were going bad for some reason, which you don't see that in Homelites. At least I don't. But if that allowed the piston to cock in the bore, I mean, that's a lot of sideways movement right there. If this piston managed to cock itself sideways just a little bit, catch that edge on the exhaust port right there, rip that off, done. So, again, I can't say with 100% certainty that that's what happened, but the evidence leads me to believe that's what it was. So anyway, there'll be some XL-500 parts for sale here shortly.